Hi there, my name is Neil Blevins, and this is a short tutorial about how to add moss to buildings. So a number of times when I've done concept art or matte painting for various film or video game projects, especially these days in sci-fi, there's plenty of post-apocalyptic kind of environments. And so what I found I've had to do quite a number of times is show something that has been messed up, maybe like a building that got bombed or exploded years and years ago, and now here we are 10, 20 years later, and there's moss growing on the building. It's a real quick, easy way to show that this building has been sitting around a long time because nature is kind of taking it back. So anyway, for these kinds of scenes, this is a technique I use to add moss to the buildings, at least on the further away buildings, and you'll see why it's more appropriate for further away stuff in a second. So let's get started. So here's a photograph that I took in France a number of years ago, and what I'm going to do here is I'm going to start adding moss to the bottom of the building, starting to crawl up the building itself. So step one, get the photograph of the building you want to apply the moss. Then the next thing I have over here is a photo of moss. And the way I got this photo was I took a photograph of moss with my iPhone that was on a tree, and then I just used the clone brush to sort of clone in, covering the whole thing with moss, so there's no area of non-moss. And step one here is I will copy this, and I'm going to paste it onto this surface. And let me transform it a little bit bigger. And then I'm going to put a mask on here and fill this mask with black. So now, the way the mask works is everywhere that's black is no moss, and everywhere that's white is moss. And in this case, since it's all black, there's no moss showing currently, and then now I'm going to start adding in moss by painting inside of this mask. And the way I'm going to do it is using a brush that I made from this particular image. So this is just a hand-painted leaf that I did a number of years ago, and I turned it into this brush. In fact, let me just quickly show you what the brush does. So you can see all that this brush does is, a little bit smaller, is paints a bunch of leafy shapes. And if you want more information on how to make a brush like this, let me just pull over the brush itself so you can see the settings. So first is just the brush itself with a little bit of spacing in here, just so it's not sitting right on top of itself. Then under Shape Dynamics, Size Jitter, so it makes each leaf a different size. A little bit of angle jitter, and you can also use some of these other ones like Flip X and Y, but I didn't bother in this one. And then Scattering, which makes each brush stroke happen a little bit further away from the other brush stroke. And you can play with these settings. It all really, what these settings you need really depends on the size of your brush and the effect you're going for. So play around until you find something that does what you want. So now let's start using this on the image itself. So I make the brush a lot smaller, so it's about the right size for whatever your particular photograph is, and I make the color white. And remember, I'm not painting here, I'm painting on the mask. And let's start adding in some moss. So the advantage of using this technique is rather than painting the moss in as a separate thing, I'm painting the mask that reveals a photograph of actual moss. And so this is a really quick way to get some detail in here without having to manually paint all of this moss and all the texture that actual moss would have. Just paint a bit more in here. Okay, you get the idea. And also something that frequently you want to do is when you're painting moss, moss will tend to grow in areas around crevices and things. So make sure to put, you can put a little bit of moss everywhere, but painting the moss mask right around edges and whatnot will make the moss tend to look a little bit more realistic. Okay. So now let's do a little bit of color correction on here. So the first step is let us add a levels, and then this levels layer here I'm going to use as a clipping mask on here. And you do that by holding Alt and then clicking on this line, and that turns it into a clipping mask. So now this levels here will adjust the brightness of this without adjusting the brightness of anything below it or above it. So let me just pull in this, and the idea here is to do a little color correction to kind of match this a little bit more closely to the background. So let's make it a little bit darker. Maybe raise the dark areas a little bit. So I'm making the dark areas a little less dark, and I'm making the light areas way less light. And I'm thinking that's looking pretty good. So another thing to note is inside of here, let me just put this away, there are certain areas that actually should be a lot darker. So here, this part, you can see the sun is hitting this part of the surface, and so this stuff will be one brightness. But then in this area here, you can see this is a shadowed area, and I have a bunch of the moss in this area. And so one thing, if you want to get really a lot more realistic, you might want to do is select this area, do a new layer, turn that layer into a clipping mask just like before, so it'll only affect the moss. Then let's fill this in with black, and then let's reduce this opacity. And we can use this to make the moss that's in that corner a little bit darker. So now if there are areas you painted a little bit too much moss, let's zoom in on here a bit. Like here, for example, you can see that this is looking a little bit weird here. So let me just quickly erase some of this, and I'll just erase it with the same brush that I used before. And you can go back and forth in here. And this is the beauty of this, because you are painting in the mask and not in the actual texture itself. You are going to reveal or add more or take away more of your moss. Now when you look here very closely, you'll note that this doesn't look very good once you're close up to it. And so this technique is really not meant for really close observation. This is more like if you're doing stuff that's more background, because over here that looks reasonably realistic, especially if you spend a little bit more time getting it to look a little better than just this quick test I did in terms of painting in your mask. But it's definitely not the best technique if you're getting close up here. But what you can do is you can use this technique to put some general moss in these areas and then hand paint or place better photographs over top of it. And what that lets you do is it sort of lets you place a whole bunch of moss generally where you want. Then you can place a couple of hero pieces of moss, and then when people look at it, they're not going to notice the difference. They'll be like, oh yeah, here's a more detailed piece of moss here that looks really realistic. And so they just accept the fact that all this other moss that doesn't look as realistic, they think it feels more realistic because they saw the bit that looks a lot better. But especially if the stuff that you're painting is far away like this, this can really help. And one last little trick is if you want to get a little bit more realism here and you want moss that feels very thick, one way of doing that is by adding a bit of a shadow underneath the moss, because of course the moss would actually put a shadow on the surface of the church. And so you can hand paint that on a different layer underneath here, or another, again, if you're far away like this, another quick way of doing that is going under Layer, going under Layer Style, Drop Shadow, and let's set the light is coming basically from this angle. And you can adjust the size and distance to put the shadow exactly where you'd want it to be. And the key with these sort of things is go subtle. It doesn't have to be super strong. Reduce the opacity on it, give it a big size so it's a little bit blurry depending on how harsh the light is in your scene. And that can give just another little bit of realism to the moss that you're painting onto a surface. And here's the same scene after a little bit more work. So all I did was I refined this mask a little bit more, painting in and painting out some parts with the same brush I used before, just made it bigger and smaller to try to tighten up some of the areas here. And then I also went in and I added a little bit of extra detail here just to show you what I mean about in certain spots maybe adding more detail. And all this is the same deal, where this is a photograph of actual ivy growing up on the side of a pillar. And then all I did was paint a mask, and I painted this mask with the exact same brush as I had before. And I added that to this area here, which I could get tighter on this, really go in and really tighten up the leaves so that each individual leaf really makes a lot of sense. But it really just depends on how close you're going to get to this. So if you're this far away, then leaving it like this is almost certainly going to be totally fine for your purposes. If you're getting really close, then you might want to add more detail. But in a lot of the stuff that you're doing, especially if it's concept art as opposed to a final matte painting, the idea is to give the impression of the greenery there and the moss there. It doesn't need to look absolutely perfectly photoreal. So here's another practical example. This was an image that I did a couple of years ago, and you can see there's lots of foliage down here, and some of the foliage, the stuff that's closer up, is an actual tree that I took a photograph of and then integrated into the image. But then there's lots of smaller stuff here, like for example this sort of hedge material down here. So let me just pull this guy over. So for the hedge stuff, rather than taking actual photographs of hedges or bushes, what I did was exactly the technique I just showed you. So if I turn this off, this is what I painted with the leaf brush, and then I took a real photograph of some leaves, which you can see here. There we go. And I put it over top of the hedge area that I defined here. And that allowed me to very quickly fill in this area with this, this foliage. And you can see here I added a little shadow underneath, and that was done manually as opposed to using the shadow technique that I showed you a minute ago. But it's exactly the same idea, just to give it a sense of being a little bit thicker. And so up close it looks not that great necessarily, but again from far away it totally reads as little bushes down here, and I was able to do it a lot faster than if I placed real bushes. So thank you very much for watching. I hope you learned something and can use this technique in your own work, your own post-apocalyptic images. And please visit my website, neilblevins.com, and go to the CG Education section for more tutorials, both video and written. And feel free also to subscribe to my YouTube channel if you want to be notified next time I post a new video. Thank you very much.